In this video, we are going to be learning about heat and measuring heat. Now, we often think of heat as a synonym for thermal energy, but in science, this is incorrect. The definition of heat in science is that it's actually the energy transferred between objects at different temperatures. So, matter does not contain heat, it contains thermal energy. So again, heat is actually the transfer of energy, not the energy itself. The direction of the thermal energy being transferred is always from a higher temperature object to a lower temperature object. For example, and don't try this at home, if you put your hand on a hot stove, then the heat will flow from the hot stove to your colder hand. And that's why your hand gets burnt. So in these examples here, the hot cup of coffee is hot and the surroundings are cooler, so the heat will flow from the coffee cup to the surrounding air. In this, there is a can of Coke. The Coke is colder than the air, so the air, though, energy will flow from the air to the drink. So again, the direction of thermal energy is always from a higher temperature object to a lower temperature object. There is no case where it goes the other way. So here's another example. See if you can fill this out. When you put an ice cube in a mug of hot tea, energy is transferred from blank to blank. So is it transferred from the tea to the ice or the ice to the tea? The correct answer is it goes from the tea to the ice. And that is since the ice is gaining thermal energy, that's why it is able to melt. So heat is an actual thing. What is cold? An object is cold because it lacks thermal energy. So when you're standing outside on a cold day, you feel cold because you are losing heat. Cold is basically the absence of thermal energy, like dark is the absence of light. Alright, last thing we're going to talk about. Heat units are energy units. Does anyone remember the correct unit for energy? Well, the correct unit for energy is a joule, and heat is also measured in joules. Now there's another unit of measurement that we use for energy and heat. We'll get to that in just a second. So it takes 4.14 joules of heat to change 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So that means you would have to put in 4.814 joules of heat into 1 gram of water in order to raise the temperature of the water by 1 degree. So this is actually how we define a calorie. 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules, or the amount of heat needed to change 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Now, this may look familiar. This calorie with a lowercase c is actually different from the food calories we see on the side of our food containers. So a food calorie, so capital C, is actually 1,000 little calories, or kilocalorie. Remember, kilo is the metric prefix for 1,000. So food is measured by the energy released when it burns or they burn, and that's what we call metabolism. Metabolism is our body burning the energy that we got from food.